Human civilization has always known conflict. But it wasn't until the 20th century that the scope magnified to such a bloody scale as to engulf the entire world. In the aftermath of the war to end all wars, Adolf Hitler and his Nazi party fanned the flames of a broken and dispirited nation, rebuilding the country from the ashes of the Versailles Treaty into a fascist juggernaut that seemed unstoppable. They pushed all the way to the Atlantic in their blitzkrieg, with England their next target. But Winston Churchill and his small island nation won the Battle of Britain, holding out through Hitler's terror bombing for an entire year. They stoked the fires of freedom long enough to stay alive and to save the world. After Pearl Harbor, the United States, with all its military and industrial muscle, entered the war. First Africa, then Italy, and then finally Fortress Europe itself. You, soldier, are a part of this great crusade. Are you ready to rise above and beyond the call of duty?
Good morning, Lieutenant. I'm Colonel Hargrove from the Office of Strategic Services. I'll get right to the point. The OSS was formed 2 years ago by presidential order to serve as the intelligence branch of the United States military. Our mission is anything and everything. Espionage, sabotage, subversion, search and rescue, you name it, we do it. Now, from time to time, we recruit people from outside of the regular ranks, especially if they've got a particular skill we need. Like you, Lieutenant Patterson. What you did last Monday got our attention. I know you consider yourself just another anonymous pilot in the Transport Corps, but taking out a half a dozen of the Wehrmacht and then sneaking back into friendly territory is quite an impressive feat of soldiering by anyone's measure. I had your records from basic and OCS pulled. Your instructors gave you high marks for weapons and munitions training. You were the top marksman in your class, excellent leadership skills, noted for being especially smart and resourceful. I also had your university transcript pulled. You were just one semester away from getting your aerospace engineering degree before you enlisted. You had earned straight A's from start to finish. In short, Lieutenant, you're just the kind of man we're looking for. But it's completely up to you whether you want to join us or not. Unfortunately, there's not much time to make a decision, so if the answer is yes, you'll be on a plane within the hour heading back to France. If it's no, you'll be ordered to forget we ever had this conversation. So, Lieutenant Patterson, what will it be?
Hello and welcome to Medal of Honor, the first game in the series. Yes, predating even, what was the name of that game again? Allied Assault for the PC. This is a title from 1999 on the PlayStation 1. And, obviously I'm making a Let's Play of it, as you can tell by the title already. So I'm doing things a bit differently here, in that I'm doing the commentary post-op, because the game just doesn't really feel like the kind of game that works very well with real-time commentary. Now, I couldn't find any difficulty settings. I don't remember if this game ever had them, or if it was just underground. But hopefully the game doesn't end up being a little too easy or disappointing as a result of not selecting the hardest difficulty. Anyway, in this video you'll see a fair bit of messing up with the controls here. I did upgrade my controls to something a little more useful and better, but muscle memory has a hard way of being told to shut up and listen to the new stuff. So anyway, simple stuff. This level you may remember from my intentionally terrible April Fool's video, which I actually kind of played somewhat competently, despite everything else being awful. It's simple enough. You need to find the G3 officer's plane and the code logbook, I believe. Conveniently, this is an extremely, exceptionally, etc. linear game. Because, well, honestly, I don't think the PlayStation's hardware would be very capable of doing something a little more open world. So it's pretty much impossible to miss the code book. A few later levels are a little easier to miss some things in, if only because, you know, the objectives are in side rooms that can be kind of easy to miss because the extremely low field of view and, you know, really dodgy 1999 PlayStation 1 graphics are not the easiest things to see, and I assume that passage actually made sense. Right, anyway, so gameplay is mostly this throughout the entire game. You get objectives that you have to press the action button on and automatically win with. You walk around at a slow pace, shooting a bunch of Nazis, rinse and repeat, for 7 total missions. It is still somewhat fun, even though, like, for some reason, it took them until Underground to decide, hey, we should put some crosshairs in the game. So the only way you can get any sort of relatively precise aiming with this is to assume what the center of the screen is, or to, you know, go GoldenEye style with that little zoom that I showed a little bit earlier. Still, the game does have some pretty impressive AI behavior that I actually haven't really seen anywhere outside of this game in Underground. Maybe it's also in the PC Medal of Honors, I don't know. I own Allied Assault, and I think maybe Pacific Assault? I don't know. I don't remember if that was a package deal on GOG.com or not. But I haven't played those yet, so I don't know if the behavior was copied there. But it's mainly the fact that they react to grenades and more than just run away or stand there and shoot. As you've been able to see so far, they will try to kick the grenade away and other such things. It also features some stuff that isn't too alien to a bunch of, or to other games that you may have seen before, like directional hit indicators for your character, except it's on the compass in the upper left instead of on the corners of the screen. Now I have to say that despite the technical limitations of the system and, you know, things that are actually reasonable like that, reasonable excuses for the game's behavior, the engine's movement code is terrible. Really terrible. I believe it's been shown already so far, but getting through doors is extremely glitchy, especially if you try to go in any way that isn't perfectly straightforward looking where you're going. When I was playing through this earlier, by earlier I mean 24 hours ago or so, I remember more or less getting stuck in doorways a lot because I was trying to strafe through them. And, well, strafing through the doors is mostly useful if you're trying to use the lean feature. Just get rid of this guy here. Yeah, lean is basically, you know, you just hop into that zoom in view mode and use the left stick, move the left stick left or right. So, really, Call of Duty Ghosts has even less to brag about with this new feature. I mean, hey, this game had lean in on a console in 1999. I don't see what's so fancy about a AAA game with multi-million-dollar budgets doing the same thing 14 years later, if my math is right. Anyway, the codebook is right here. on the ground, I believe. Yes. The screen here is actually a bit darker in my preview than it was while playing. I think I'll have to play with some editing stuff to make that a little nicer. Yep. Grenade thing here just didn't really work out as well as I would have liked it to. It's a shame. Though, if you can aim well enough in this crazy system, which I have to say, it's really not easy to aim well in this game. Between the frame rate being like anywhere between 15 and 20 at all times, and you know, using dual joysticks to move, it's hard to get any sort of precision. But still, if you can aim it well enough, a grenade that makes direct contact with an enemy explodes instantly. No chance for them to pick it up and throw it at you, which somehow magically stops the thing from exploding in their hands or kicking it away. I think I already made the point there. So we've found the plane. It is empty, of course. There's a guy just kind of sitting here waiting for me to get out of the menu screen before doing anything. There's an absolute ton of health on this level as well. It is the first level of the game, so I guess instead of, you know, the way more modern games would throw a million text prompts on the game or on the screen at you to say, hey, do this, this game just kind of gives you an absolute ton of medkits to you know, make up for the possibility that a new player is going to suck. Or even an experienced player who hasn't touched a PlayStation 2 controller in a long time. So I vaguely remembered, you know, a bunch of Nazis coming down the road as soon as you hopped onto that thing, that gun there, like what happened before, but once again, my memory wasn't quite accurate. And we're on to the second mission, which is actually not too difficult. It's essentially, well, as the objectives have just said, you need to blow up a radio, shoot at least 8 Gestapo officers, of which there are at least 9 on the level, so it's kind of hard to miss them. And that's pretty much it. Simple stuff, really, but it is the first mission. Here's that glitchiness I was talking about earlier, you know, with the movement. And last time I saw movement issues like that, it was playing the PlayStation version of Rainbow Six. And hell, even there, that was the AI getting stuck in doorways for no reason because they were just badly programmed. It wasn't the player character. So of course, my usual tendency is to try to explore everything more than necessary. You know, leads me to walk into a few dead ends in this level. And honestly, I don't know what I was thinking trying to go into this fight. Ah, there we go, an MP40 with a pretty choppy reloading animation. It's a pretty decent weapon in these first 2 games. Not terribly strong, but I mean, it's a 9mm pistol. Can't expect submachine gun rather. Can't expect it to be too powerful. I mean, you gotta make the rifle worth something at least. This fella's just kind of sitting there behind the corner. That is an oddity of a Medal of Honor AI behavior that I can't really say I miss too much. You know, them just kind of standing around corners, not doing anything until you get into their field of view. I'm guessing it's hardware limitations that causes it. You know, just like the incredibly tiny draw distance and enemies not really seeing you until they're well within the draw distance. But it just seems odd, you know, as somebody who's played Doom in other games, you know, to have all this gunfire and shooting going around and nobody does anything until you're sufficiently close enough and in their field of view. Aha! And there's the grenade activity I mentioned earlier. So yeah, like I said before, if you're lucky or skilled enough to get throws like that, and you'll find the game a fair bit easier. Synchronized alarms, eh? See, this next enemy, it's kind of hard to tell because, you know, normally you're playing this through TV speakers and the stereo audio setup isn't exactly very well done. I mean, I'm listening here on headphones and his gunshots from the left sounded like they're coming out of the right speaker, and that's not an issue with my setup. Once again, I completely lose my place in what I was saying before I go off on a tangent. Whew. You know, I seem to have more trouble doing that when I'm doing post-op commentary than when I'm doing it real time. I got a little bit lost there. Lost being in air quotes. I forgot that there was this little bridge, or ladder, next to the bridge. And handily enough, it's precisely where you need to go. I am sorry, there is going to be a fair amount of dead space, dead air in these early videos. There just isn't a whole lot to say about the first mission. It's very straightforward, very simplistic, very easy, because again, it is the first level. It is, of course, the one that's, you know, the first mission that's least worthy or needing of a guide. Speaking of guides, when I picked up this game with Underground in an eBay sale quite a while ago, please tell me this works. Nope. I have just wonderful luck with grenades. I picked this up with Underground in an eBay sale, and they both came with strategy guides. I have no idea where they are right now. Things have been kind of hectic around the house with how everything's been moved around to accommodate some changes that have happened since I was away at university. But I remember reading those guides. Oh hey, objective complete. Yeah, I remember reading those guides so much as a kid. Like, I would even, you know, before school, I would, you know, just take them, read them at the dinner table while eating cereal. Man, maybe it's a little too late to be recording this. I'm mixing up my words even more than usual. But what can you do? I don't really have much in the way of, you know, more convenient times to, or better times to record anymore anyway. So yeah, the rest of the level, now that all the objectives have been completed, are just to walk through this corridor, shoot a few dudes, and find the exit, which leads you to the Maquis, I think it's called, hideout, where Manon's, no, where the G3 officer is supposed to be hiding. Manon is the player character from Underground, and, you know, she's the person that was given the briefings earlier. You know, the text ones, not the video. It's just some wonderful aiming on my part. Oh, yep. Having trouble getting through the door sideways again. So I'd say in this area that you need to be careful because there are quite a few corners that the enemies could hide in, but they do a good enough job of just standing out, being oblivious, and just in general kind of useless and easy to dispatch. No tactics required, just sometimes it pays to just run and gun. This would be a lot easier with the mouse and keyboard, which I mean, if those were compatible with this game, even in an emulator, I would certainly use those over the controller. And maybe I'd be able to play in a more fast-paced and exciting way than is possible here. I believe this little room serves absolutely no purpose other than to maybe house a Nazi earlier, you know, before he walks around the corner or something. Seems like a total waste of space otherwise. Because, I mean, honestly, considering the restrictions that this game and system must have, seems like a waste to put the resources into making a little area like that and then not actually do anything with it. It's almost like the mutants in Clear Sky. They just got a space restrictor that they can't walk past. You know, so many of my playthroughs of this game have been with the cheat that makes them all speak English. And, you know, I press the new game button, so all the cheats have been completely wiped out for this playthrough. Yeah, I'm so used to that it just seems strange hearing the German voices. Personally, I don't doubt that they're not native German speakers in this mode anyway. And in the final part of the first mission, we're sent down to the sewers, one of the most exciting places in any video game. There's our poor pilot, all lying dead in the corner, all low poly-like. What a shame. It's a terrible way to die. So we got these ugly motherfuckers. I mean, seriously. I guess I hit him with a few stray bullets while blasting away at the dog. The dogs in this game, I don't know, they just looking at them now, they really remind me of Penumbra. The dogs there, except, you know, obviously less gory. I don't know what it is about the models. Maybe the low poly count made it, and low texture resolution made it impossible to make them look like normal dogs, yeah, to any extent, but they just look horrible. I mean, and I'm not even talking in graphical fidelity sense. I mean, horrible, like monstrosities, demon dogs or some shit. And along this level, you can see a lot of what I would honestly say is fake volumetric lighting, because obviously not even computers could, you know, do real volumetric lighting at this time. But, you know, it's just the whole light shafts coming down from the ceiling, semi-transparent textures on an object. Personally, to me, while playing this, I just kind of found it funny for no reason other than, you know, I saw the exact same thing in Rage, and Rage was a good 12 years newer than this. You'd think technology would, you know, improve over time like that, but, yeah, what do I know? Oh, and of course here I'm just kind of showing off how apparently not very well play-tested some things in this game, and its engines are its engine rather are, you know, jumping while going down the tunnel. Oh hey, your head just kind of faces through the ceiling. Nothing to worry about. I mean, it'd be more of a problem if you actually got physically stuck, but so the weapons cache that I was looking at the menu for is actually down the other path, not this one. I remember that soon enough. But I don't know, I guess I just felt like clearing this area. And the fun thing about that area that I just walked through, the really fun thing is, for some reason, all the pipes have a large collision mesh that's, you know, the size of the grates surrounding the pipes. It's like they really, I don't know what they were thinking. It makes it much more difficult to get through this area than it ever really needed to be. It's all because the collision meshes are too large. There we go. Conveniently, the one grate you can shoot and destroy holds the weapons cache. And I'm pretty sure that was an accidental fire there. Accidental discharge. So yeah, nothing too amazing, just a really big med kit. And one of the best weapons in the entire game. The shotgun. Given the sheer amount of close-range combat in this game, you know, considering aforementioned technical restrictions, this is one of the best weapons you can possibly hope for. The only problem is experience with other video games tends to make you want to use longer ranged weaponry for anything that isn't less than 5 meters away. Hence the jumping around to the Garand a little earlier there. I don't remember if this has happened or not. May have kind of phased out, while talking about some other point, but if you're unlucky enough to throw a grenade near one of these stocks, they'll go all Iron Storm on you. Grab it in their mouths and just kind of sadistically run towards you and explode when the grenade goes off. Obviously, you want to hope that you're out of the path, but... Actually, no, I can't really rightfully say it's pulling an Iron Storm on you, because it's not annoying and bitchy enough to do. To warrant that, rather. It's almost 3 in the morning. Oh, here we go. Here's where an example can be found. Goodbye, stupid dog. I'll tell you what, if this was on a Nintendo system, that dog would have been replaced with a giant rat. As if the port of Wolfenstein for the Super Nintendo taught us anything, is that shooting people? A-okay. Shooting dogs? Not Nintendo approved. Replaced with the mutant rats or some bullshit. Anyway, yeah, it's 3 in the morning. That's my excuse for all of this. In terms of the commentary maybe not being up to par, in addition to me not being that good at post-op. There we go. Just grabs it in his mouth. Horrible. Just horrible. I don't think it really matters which way you take here. There might be a wall a little further ahead on the other side. No, there definitely isn't. So it really doesn't matter which way you take. There's just a med kit, way at the back. If you would decide to go around a little bit.
This operation is being planned as a success. We cannot afford to fail. With that declaration, the tone for D-Day was set. Allied troops were towed across the channel, seated inside gliders, whose pilots had only one chance for a successful landing. Thousands more traveled to France aboard Higgins boats, amphibious landing craft that were the key to the Allied triumph on D-Day. But the fight for Europe was just beginning, and not everything was going according to plan.
And we're done. I even unlocked a cheat code for getting the 3-star rating on all 3 of the missions. Can't guarantee I'll be doing that well on every mission of the game, but I'll try. Not really gonna feel like replaying an entire level, your entire mission just to get the perfect score, for a guide like this, but, Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time in Medal of Honor.